Hey y'all, welcome to the filling station. I am super excited. It has been an interesting day, right? Let me go ahead and give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy, teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues. With that being said, this video is only for educational purposes. So let's get started, right? Y'all, we are looking at the SPY, and we're looking at the 30-minute time frame. The SPY consolidated for 30 minutes. I mean, on the 30-minute time frame for a long time, right? And I'm going to mark those areas here. So we consolidated since the market opened. Basically, it started around, let's say, 9:30 it till about 1:30. Sure enough, right here we broke it, start breaking out based on, the Fed rate decision was to stay the same, which, I mean, we kind of knew that, right? So it's interesting that they kind of had an idea of what was about to take place. And so it consolidated throughout the day. I've seen this pattern so many times during um, decisions, or news that's about to come out, the long consolidation and then the strong breakout. So that's something to be mindful of. Now, you've seen this happen, so we kind of have an idea of what could possibly take place, right? So looking at it on a 5-minute time frame. Okay, let's see why we're not moving. Let's see if we can look at it on a 5-minute time frame. I'm not quite sure what just happened there. That's a 2-minute. 5-minute time frame. There we are. We consolidated here, and then we would have entered the stock, entered the trade once it got past that consolidation area. But listen, y'all, what's interesting to me is SPY was an inside week, and the trigger was at the 517.38, and the target was only 518.22. So we knew that it could reach that 518.22 as a weekly target, right? The high thus far is 521.20. We closed at 520.48. My concern, let me say that. I mean, so we had a consolidation area, and then we had some. Wait, let's go back. We had consolidation, which is here. Get run up, gap up, jump up, whatever you want to call it, only to go back to consolidation again. We moved up again, consolidation again, trying to go up, came down, trying to go back up again, right? My concern, and let me say that it is a concern for me because I've seen patterns like this, right? And looking at it, yeah. So my concern is this. The last time we made a high right here, it went to 518 on 3/8, and we the next day we came down, right? We made a new high here of 520.62. It closed at 520.48. The high was at 520.62, right? So are we going to come back down tomorrow because we do get the economic data that's coming out, right? So is the market going to factor that in and send us back to the downside? That is something to think about, right? We just made a new high, 52-week high with the SPY, and is the market going to send us back to the downside based on the information that's coming out tomorrow? It's interesting to look at this 4-hour chart, how we consolidated, broke through the consolidation, and had a strong move up, right? And in my experience, when I see moves like that, just like it consolidated here and we had a strong move down, when I see moves like that, it makes me wonder, about the next day, what tomorrow will be like. But we're not going to focus on that. Tomorrow we'll wake up, do our assessment, and we'll start with what we have and what we know. And yeah, that's something to think about, y'all. And Tesla, I had Tesla having resistance at the 176. It hit, and I have deleted some of these lines so that it don't get too congested, right? I had Tesla had hitting resistance once before at 176.09. We tested that again today because there was a cup and handle target at the 180 something. I hadn't calculated it. It looked like it was a cup and handle. It needed to get above this 175.65 in order to reach that cup and handle target. My concern is, are we going to, you know, go and reach that target, or is this a real rejection, meaning we can't go further? We're not going to be able to go higher. So, based on what has happened today, it's a little bit interesting to watch. I would, I would definitely say that, right? It will. Tesla is always on my list. I normally trade it every day, but this area, if we can break, so in the morning, if we open above this 176.25, I did see a cup and handle target of 187.76. So I am looking to trade Tesla in that direction if we get above the one. If we stay above this 176, or when, as long as we're above the 175.60 area, then I'm looking to trade Tesla to the upside to 187.76. Is it doable? It really is. However, we do have news coming out tomorrow. We don't know how the market is going to move. I always say trade what you see. Don't rush into your trades. Pay attention to your trades. Let's say that, right? So again, Tesla is one that I am watching to that 187 range. It is possible. It is doable. Um, SMCI, I did not stay in my trade with SMCI. One of the things with this is it moves really, really different, right? In any situation, buy off of rejection and or support, right? So SMCI, it seemed like what it tried to do, let me say that, is it came up, went up, made a high, came down, and consolidated for a long time. I thought I had a bear flag here. That's why you see the line here. And I just wasn't comfortable trading it based on how it was just moving sideways, right? It waited until the end of the day, and it decided to break out of that area of, it's around 320. And at that time, I wasn't trading it. So I will say that the VWAP and the 5 crossed. So to me, that's a signal also. It made higher highs. It broke out of the gathering spot or the consolidation. So you could have scalped it back to the upside. It is still above the 5 EMA. It did get rejected at the ORB high, which is, so the high of the day is 907.05. This stock normally moves about 89, like 90, 109. There it is. This stock moves $109 a day. My concern for SMCI is we have gaps to the upside and to the downside. And are we going to go back up and fill the gap that was created on 318, which is here to here? And that's where that line is, there to there. Or are we going to come up, get rejected on this, and come back and continue filling the downside, right? In my opinion, let me say my opinion, I can be all the way wrong. In my opinion, we could very well come down and fill that downside gap, right? But again, trade what you see, pay attention to your charts, and I always say don't jump and rush into your trades, right? So NVIDIA is another one. Let's see. And this is the daily chart with NVIDIA. Do you see that we are consolidating? And I tried my absolute best, honestly, to delete some of these lines so it can be a little bit clearer for you. But one of the things that I had marked on NVIDIA's chart is we've been consolidating or going sideways for a few days now. And the concern is, are we going to break out of this area right here? Because there's 7 days of going sideways, not really making new highs. It's just staying within that range, right? So NVIDIA, it closed today with, I would say, a hanging man, because this is the bottom of the move, this is the top of the move, but nonetheless it's still trading sideways, right? So I would watch this candle to see if we're going to get a reversal back to this area right here. It does have a gap to fill down at the 823, and it is possible. So that's something to think about. NVIDIA was an inside week, or is an inside week, and the trigger is 919.16. If we break above this area, the target is 974. So I would definitely watch NVIDIA. This candle here is concerning. Is this a reversal candle for us? If you trade NVIDIA, I would set my target above the 919.16 and set the alert above that amount. Above that total, excuse me. And then your target is going to be the 974. So that's definitely worth watching. However, there is some, downside to that also, because again, we've been consolidating for a while, and the trigger to the downside is 841.66. If we break below the 841.66, then the target is here, which is at 834.17. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on and pay attention to if you trade Nvidia. That we do, it is an inside week, and we can see that those inside week candles definitely, it helps to mark those. And I'll definitely do a video on how I mark my inside day and inside week candles. SPX is one that was interesting to watch today because I had an, it was inside, and well, SPX and SPY is basically the same. And when you, when I marked the inside week for SPX, the target was 51.8926. Well, we exceeded that well beyond that today, right? So, with that being said, are we going to get rejected at some point up here and go back to the downside? If we break below 5091.14, then the weekly target is 505682, and it also has a gap to fill to the downside. I would watch, the SPY because of how it moved today. And I just, I guess I learned again by patterns, and I pay attention to the patterns, and something's a little bit different with how this ran today, and it's right before we get news tomorrow. So the market could very well react tomorrow, right? So pay attention to that. So yeah, y'all, so we've looked at Tesla, we've looked at Nvidia, SPX, and SMCI. And I always like to go back and say, what did I learn today from the market? One, pay attention to your charts. And those sideways movements or the gathering spot, it's for a reason. You have to be patient and wait on the breakout, right? And a lot of times we don't have time to just sit and watch that one place. However, if you set your alert and pay attention to when your alert goes off, you can make some decent gains if you go in at the right time and get out at the right time. So yeah, y'all, I hope this video is very, very helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I am super excited. Tomorrow's a new day with new opportunities to learn and grow, right? So with that being said, have an awesome day today. And again, thank you for watching. And I always like to leave you with this, y'all. Be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.